All right, 5 of 6 feeds are up. Here we come. It is POSTCAST. The Utah Jazz win streak is over. The Toronto Raptors win it. Clutch play down the stretch goes the Raptors' way. A bad call will get a lot of conversation, but I'm not sure it made the difference in this one. Jazz fall to the Raptors by the final score of 101-92. We're talking about it coming up on POSTCAST. POSTCAST is brought to you by the store at 6200 South and 20th East. Also located at the Gateway store. They're the sponsor of POSTCAST. And after every loss, you just need a mudslide cookie. Jazz fall tonight, 101-92. I thought it was a pretty great basketball game. A lot of different interesting storylines to it. A lot of the Raptors defense, second best in the league, just absolutely stymied the Jazz offense. Jazz probably were below a point per possession in this one, and then down the clutch, the Raptors made 3 of their final 6, and the Jazz go 1 of 9 in the final 5 minutes of this ball game, shooting to lose it 101-92. Ron Boone, what were your thoughts?
I'm very impressed with the Raptors. And I thought the Jazz played very, very well enough, probably to beat a lot of teams. And the fact that they did not connect with the number of shots they got from the three-point line is something was probably the reason they lost the basketball game.
No, they lost the ball because of the twos, Ron. Wait, Ron, we were 16 of 43 from 3 for 37%. We were 17 of 40 from 2. Our two-point shooting killed us.
Okay, if you want to use those numbers, and we considered ourselves to be very good three-point shooters, second in the league in three-point percentage, and you have a number of open looks like the Jazz supposedly had. Don't you think they should have been at least 4 or 5 more three-point shots made? That would have given them
50% shooting from 3.
Why not?
It's really high.
Why not?
Wow.
Think about this. Now, we sit there and watch these guys make 3 after 3 after 3 after 3 in practice. So the game is different. I know that.
And OG Anunoby is running at them, and he's really big, and they're really long.
And that was the big difference there. When you talk about closeout, it is definitely the way they close out and close out under control. Very seldom did you see them challenge a shot and run by you. They close out, and they make you shoot what appeared to be an open 3, but it's really contested.
The other thing they do is they're closing out so hard. We were driving by their guys all night long, and they always brought somebody else over and cut you off at the pass. Yeah. Jazz only took 20 shots at the rim all night. They went 11 of 20 at the rim, and then the floater game was just not good tonight. Like, that's the Jazz default too often as they go to that floater game, and tonight the Jazz go 6 of 18 on short twos. That's your killer. They only took 2 long twos all night long, but the Jazz shoot 6 of 20 on non-rim twos tonight. That's frankly what got them. And what it is you're driving by these guys, and they're so incredibly good at rotating over with their next guy. Then you kick it out to the open 3, and they still have someone closing, but that's why they give up the most catch-and-shoot threes in the league. That's why they give up the most corner threes. Jazz generally took advantage of that, but probably needed to do more so.
Yeah, and just also, David, I was just looking at turnovers. They had 20 turnovers, 21 points, but the Jazz couldn't take advantage of that as well. Now, we're not bashing the Jazz. The Jazz defensively, I thought, played very, very well, and they just got beat by a better team tonight. And probably again, just think about this: a more athletic team than what we are, for sure.
There's 3 plays and fast breaks that Jazz fans are going to go back to, and you're going to want, and all 3 of them, the superior athlete was the Raptors defender, even maybe not on Clarkson, but it was with Siakam, so maybe Siakam's. All 3 of them were plays at the rim where I think you could argue the Raptors defender was the superior athlete. Bojan just didn't think he could get up and make the layup. He also missed one at a later time. Clarkson missed an easy layup at one point, and I think Conley missed one or pulled out of one because he didn't think he could get it because, frankly, the Raptors guys are that long and that athletic.
Yeah, and when you have guys like that, and obviously they can play multiple positions, but, they just seem to stand out and in so many different areas. And as I said before the during the course of the basketball, they got some second-round picks on this team that's really turned into very good basketball players and very good support players, I think, to the starters that they have that they put out there on the floor.
There are plays to not like tonight, right? If you want to go through in a game that kind of before it kind of got out of hand at the very minutes, had a bunch of possessions. I'm not sure I love Rudy with 2:12 left putting the ball on the deck from 27 feet out, frustrated because he hasn't got any shots tonight. I got it, but that's not his game. Donovan tonight goes 1 of 10 on 2-point shots. Like the floaters and some of the forced layups where he didn't have angles against the athletes just didn't turn out. Rondé Hollis-Jefferson grabbing 4 offensive rebounds on a possession. The Raptors grabbing 14 offensive rebounds tonight. The Jazz just 28 defensive rebounds. So the Jazz had just a 67% defensive rebounding percentage, and the Jazz are the 3rd best defensive rebounding team in the NBA. So there are certain. Bojan goes 2 of 8 tonight. There are definitely moments here and plays that you can go back to and grab onto, wondering whether they could have changed the game a little bit.
Yeah, so if you look at both of these teams and you start looking, okay, championship teams or championship caliber teams, you would have to think that, okay, the Toronto Raptors is definitely a championship in the making there team. And so even though the Milwaukee Bucks got the ratings are very, very high, and the Boston Celtics there are getting a lot of notoriety there as well. Toronto, I think it might be one of the best teams, probably the best team in the East.
Push comes to shove, I think both of us would take Toronto over Milwaukee in a 7-game series.
I would. I definitely would. I really like the way they get the job done. I think they're big enough, and then I think they're athletic enough. And then if Lowry continues to play the way he's been playing here, this year, it's just, boy, this is his 13th year in the league, and he's looking like this is his 5th or 6th year.
Flip side of this, by the way, is they made some plays. Lowry hits a tough fadeaway 3 at a shot clock. Good to see you, bud. Good luck in the playoffs. I like you guys a lot. OG Anunoby hits a monster 3 right side coming through. So they're really good. They're winning these games in the clutch, and they made a bunch of plays.
Yeah, but you can't say enough about those type of shots. And I thought Lowry made a couple of those last night against the Sacramento Kings. So. It's a very good team. I mean, they take their threes. They have guys that can post you up with their backs to the basket. They have guys that can drive to the basket. So I think there's as balanced of a team as any team in the NBA when it comes to playing this game.
Let's go to some of our comments. Joshua McGrath is upset at Mike Conley's floater. He's going to lay off Donovan's floater, but he's going to go after Mike Conley's. Pick your guy you want to hate. Go for it. That sounds good. Eric Wood, teams have figured out Rudy, and that's concerning. Do you think that's true?
Teams have figured out Rudy all season long. I mean, it's not like Rudy was. Rudy's only 205 dunks this year. How many he had? Over 300 last year.
Yep.
I think he's at least 70.
But the
75.
league figured out the dunk.
Yes.
Right? Like, Rudy still leads the league in dunks at 100 less than he had a year ago.
Yes, exactly. So they figured these things out. So it's not just Rudy that's not being able to get to the rim, get those dunks and those type of things. It is the league, just like you just said.
Joshua McGrath is just hating everyone. He's done with Conley. Now he's after Jazz are mega soft, tired of Bojan lobbying for calls every time he misses a layup. Like, suck it up and get your beat back on defense. He just hates everyone. By the way, Josh, I got to tell you what I love about you. Your picking and choosing guys is remarkable because Joe is the biggest criminal of arguing for calls and not running back. So you can just pick your guy you don't like and go after him. That's fine. But, be fair on this thing. Don't mean to be a downer. I thought we played pretty decent. Raptors made tough shots. Jazz didn't, says Headband Royce. Joshua McGrath is not done. Now he's after Rudy for dribbling in and driving. And Donovan, that stupid floater. All right, now he's got – who's left, Joshua? Come on, get somebody – maybe the play-by-play announcer sucks too. Don and Rudy need to look themselves in the mirror and decide to be all-stars again. I mean, it's hard for Donovan – it's interesting to watch Siakam and watch Jason Tatum and watch all-stars who are 6'8" be able to just work themselves to a spot and get a shot. Donovan doesn't have that.
No, he doesn't have that. Sometimes you can use your quickness to, to make some plays out there on the floor. But when you have a guy 6'8" who can go outside, inside, you notice whenever the Raptors needed something, they went to that play with Siakam on the right side of the floor. Well, they did it on the left side of the floor there as well. The Jazz were ready for it, though. I mean, they were going to double and then rotate out of it, but they have that option. We don't have that option with our guards or something like that to do that.
I think this is the most important point here from Craig on our YouTube. Is this the start of a 2-game losing streak, or can the Jazz break the trend they've been in of these momentum losses?
I have a problem, and I think I've discussed this with David all season long. We're probably going to discuss it again on the plane tomorrow about Oklahoma City. They scare me when they play the Jazz. I think for some reason I just think we struggle against them, and I don't like our chances a lot of times playing against them, especially on the road. So hopefully this doesn't turn into a 2-game skid here and then coming back home. I mean, this is the next 5 games, some tough basketball games, and so we just need to hold our own, I think. But Oklahoma City does scare me.
All right. Last comment from Brent from Periscope. Seems players are figuring out and testing Rudy more. Not the same level of fear and driving inside. I did not see that at all tonight. Toronto actually took very few shots at the rim tonight. So I'm not sure that I saw that, but I think Rudy's defensive presence is still a big deal. We thought the double technical ejection was a terrible call, right?
Yeah,
I can speak for you.
absolutely,
Thought it was ridiculous. If he connects on Rudy's face, he breaks his face, and the idea that somehow is the same thing as Rudy retaliating for that is insanity to me. All right, that is the show. That is